Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. Here we are with the interactive Redeeming Love reaction video. Some people tuned in last night expecting to see a insightful review of The King's Daughter, as well as another movie I recently saw. Which one was that? Oh, God. So many movies, folks, that I've been seeing. I really do enjoy going to the cinema. I like most movies, I'll be honest with you. I'm involved in the film industry as much as I can be. So I know how much hard work goes into making these things, how much money, time, investment, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to be very brutally honest on this Mike's Instant Movie Review on Redeeming Love. I might go to some dark places. I might say some things that are controversial or maybe you don't agree with. Maybe things that I say in this video I will feel bad about later, but I'm going to try and express myself in a way that's productive but honest. I have mixed feelings about this movie. Should you go see this movie? That's a hard question. That's usually what I start with. Is this movie worth seeing? I'd say it's worth seeing, but I think it's also a good conversation piece. First off, credit to the young lady Abigail Cohen as the character of Angel. I would say another tough character to portray, and I think this actress did a great job of making one feel sympathetic towards her character, which is a hard character to feel. Well, I guess that depends on the viewer because I also did a video titled "I Hate Jenny" from Forrest Gump, and a lot of people took issue with that. Blah blah blah. So it's kind of a similar thing here, folks. And as this movie started, and here comes the spoilers, but the one of the main characters, uh, Abigail Cohen as Angel, basically is through a sad circumstances. This young lady, this young girl, is sometime like in the gold rush, like the 1850s or something like that. Um, this young lady is, or maybe the 1880s. She's born the daughter of a basically of a of a fucking cheating philanderer. Her father is a successful man, but he has sex with this mistress, and this young lady, Angel, is the daughter of the mistress. Now, eventually, what happens is something bad happens, and the mistress, the mom mistress, is forced to put food on the table to become a prostitute. Okay, so this young girl sees her mom become a prostitute, and then suddenly, her mom, spoilers, her mom gets sick and fucking dies, and then so little Angel is off in the world, um, and she kind of gets sold into slavery, like sold into prostitution. Okay, and so then she meets all these horrible, god awful men and horrible, god awful women. Now, Fomk, it's a hard name to pronounce for that lady, but Fomk Jansen plays the Duchess, who's like the queen of the harlots, like the queen of the fucking whorehouse. And Fomk Jansen is another one of these Penelope Cruz types that's just entered some type of time freezing device because Fomk Johnson looks hot and sexy and hasn't lost much of a step. I mean, God, you get this Penelope Cruz, Salma Hayek, and now Funk Johnson. Put her into this Holly Berry, Elizabeth Hurley. All these sex ladies from the 90s are still hot. But here's the issue I had with this movie, folks. Once the movie gets going, and then basically there's this love interest who's this farm boy. Michael is his name. Now, farm boy Michael goes to church and he prays to God to get a wife to share his life with, to share all his, because he's doing pretty well financially. And then he prays to God in church to find a wife. He goes downtown, and this is all, the Western stuff. And he takes a view. He sees our girl Angel there walking throughout the neighborhood because her walking through the neighborhood is like a thrill for all these horny bastards because she's such a popular prostitute. I'm not making this up. That they have a lottery every night to see who gets to sleep with her, who gets to have sex with her, and these poor other prostitutes don't get that same consideration. So we're basically elevating this woman just on her looks. There's nothing about her that's special beyond the other prostitutes, except she's like the blonde-haired girl, so they all want to fuck her. So of course he sees her, and somehow this guy Michael thinks that this is the woman that God has chosen for him, and he's going to do whatever it takes to marry this woman. So now I've got two issues with this already, folks. You ready? I want to sip a little water. I bought this water at the Dollar Tree, and I noticed there's like some fucking particles in there, like there's plastic particles. I'm drinking my credit card's worth of plastic in this one bottle, if you know what that's all about. So basically, they tell you that the average human being has like a credit card's worth of plastic in them a month from all the bottled drinks we drink. What can I do? I can't solve the world's problems. I'm just trying to give you an instant movie review. If you have comments, by the way, you're welcome to make them. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't, but you're welcome to make your comments. So we start this movie, and basically, this guy, these are the issues I have with this film. From the male perspective, this guy just thinks that God is his pimp, like God is going to bestow upon him this woman. Now, why does he assume that this woman is the woman that God has picked for him? Because she's hot. So it's just based on her looks, because she's pretty, right? So then we go out through this movie. Then it's like, do we really need another prostitute movie? You know what I mean? That's what I started thinking, and I'll go down this rabbit hole, and then I'll kind of come out the other end of it with some lessons. But Pretty Baby, Brooke Shields was like 8 or 9 years old and played a prostitute in a movie called Pretty Baby, which was, I mean, you look at that movie in today's eyes, it would never get made today. Then you have things like Pretty Woman, okay, Julia Roberts, the gold standard for redeeming whore movies. I mean, this movie should be called Redeeming Whore, not Redeeming Love, but I'll get into that. But Pretty Woman set the gold standard. I mean, that, if you're talking about Kardashian culture and all the things that came with it, you can put Pretty Woman on your hit list. I mean, this rich, dashing, middle aged man, Richard Gere, tons of money for his character, going to polo events, and he's rich. But, he can't be bothered to look into his little Rolodex of women that will be throwing themselves at him. He's going to find a prostitute on the streets of LA or whatever. And this movie was like the go-to inspirational movie for girls in high school and college. And they all wanted to be Julia Roberts. They all wanted to be a fucking whore and then get the rich guy to. What happens when what happens when the fucking prince rescues the princess? She rescues him right back. And just this false premise that a fucking rich guy with money who looks like Richard Gere is going to say, yeah, I'd like a whore, a prostitute, a street prostitute in the fucking days of AIDS and everything. I mean, that's just this fucking lie. So all these prostitute movies that glamorize these prostitutes, Hustlers with J-Lo. Yes, I know that's strippers, not prostitutes. I get it. All these fucking things, and it's just like, what is the fascination with prostitutes in the Hollywood film industry? I mean, what is it that they think we want all these prostitute movies? Now, here's the problem that I'm having. This movie is pretty damn good. So, like I said, Abigail Cohen, she makes a very, to my eyes, a hard to like character, very likable. She's certainly suffering a lot. She didn't choose this god awful life of whoredom. But the thing is, at some point, I'm sorry, but reality has to kick the fuck in. And I know this guy's a man of God and all that crap, this Michael character. But basically, he's trying to save this young woman. She's a prostitute in the whorehouse, the number one prostitute. I'm not making that up. It's in the movie. He's trying to save her from her life of prostitution. He doesn't mind that she's fucking all these other guys. he doesn't want to fuck her as soon as he gets the opportunity because he wants her to want it or whatever the fuck. And she's throwing herself at him a few times. They eventually, and he's still not having sex with her. They eventually escape, and they're having a nice little life for a while, and then she leaves him. Like, she takes off and she goes back to whoredom. She goes back to whorehood, and she sleeps with his sister's his dead sister's widower husband. She has sex with Paul for a fucking ride to town. Okay, so it's like, and then, but of course, Michael goes and he goes saves her again because the lesson is, and then now we learn the big reveal later on. He was the son of a slave owner, and his father, the cruel slave plantation owner, sent the young slave girl to do with him what he would. And then Ezra, the fucking old slave, taught him about God, and now he's gonna forgive everybody for everything. So it's like, okay, folks, I get it. I know some religious people that are fucking nuts, but at some point, a male character is just in my status quo. Maybe I'm fucking not sensitive enough. But if you're a man and your fucking wife that you saved from the fucking whoredom is leaving you in the farm to go back to whoredom, you let her fucking go. So I'm sorry. This movie is just too far fucking fetched for me to be fully invested. Yes, I know it's a goddamn movie, and some fucking woman out there is thinking, oh shit, but she can be redeemed, and just because she was a whore doesn't mean she's bad. I didn't say that. I'm just saying any man worth his dick is not going to want a woman that's been fucked so many goddamn times. Whether it's 1880, the gold rush, or in California, or wherever the fuck. I just can't buy it. It's just more simp culture. It's just more putting these goddamn women on a fucking pedestal, and the male characters are just plebeians who are just praying at the almighty pussy palace, and I just can't buy into it. I'm sorry. That all being said, it's a good movie. That's my conflict, because the actress is great. The guy actor's pretty good too. He's good. Um, so you kind of get into this movie, but I keep coming back to that. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. It just doesn't jive well with me. And what can I fucking say? You know what I mean? And it's just so goddamn Hollywood. At the end of the movie, she was supposed to have her fucking uterus torn out or burned to shreds so she can't have children by the bad guys. But of course, she ends up fucking pregnant. You know what I mean? It's just like, holy fuck. So I did notice in the end credits there was some type of fucking um, women's fucking group or whatever. A nice thing, sex trafficking, a horrible thing. Which you've watched my interview with the callback filmmakers who are trying to raise money for their film about sex trafficking. The callback human trafficking. It's a god awful issue. I'm not denying that. It really is. And now here's where we get a little insightful, because I could just leave it alone and be angry and rant. But at some point in this movie, when I was kind of critiquing it as I was watching it, I started thinking, hey, look, don't these stories deserve to be told? Yes, we've seen a million fucking prostitute stories. Pretty Baby, Pretty Woman, Hustlers, Showgirls, all these things we've endured. But does that mean that these characters don't deserve their day on the screen? And who am I to determine? Mike Messier, a guy that's tried to make films, and most of them haven't been made, that I write these goddamn great scripts, and Hollywood's not breaking down my fucking door to make my goddamn great movie scripts. But who am I to fucking judge these characters or these films with these prostitutes as the main character? Who am I? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you this: I was the only one in the goddamn theater tonight. I was literally the only person in the fucking auditorium to watch this movie. So I'm not pissing on the movie. I'm just saying I think perhaps the society has had their fill of fucking prostitute movies. Okay, and I mean you hear women complain, and I guess men complain too, or women often have a complaint that there's not well written female characters in movies. Well, look, this movie got fucking made. It's another prostitute movie, and who wrote the source material? A person named Frances, who I'm assuming is female. I believe the lady Frances wrote the book. I'm assuming Frances is a female name. I could be wrong. I think it was Francine, actually. Francine wrote the book and then teamed up with this person with initials for a fucking first name, which I always hate, like DJ Caruso or whatever the fuck. I mean, I like names. I don't like fucking initials for a name. No offense, director person. But it's like, okay, you made another fucking prostitute movie. It's a good movie. Then I start thinking about things like, if you know, the actress who plays this role, Abigail Cohen, great actress. I mean, it was, why did she do this movie? Because it is a great role for a fucking actress, you know, because it's, you're in every goddamn scene of the movie. You have all these things to do. So she's doing her job. And look, I know Hollywood is very competitive. The filmmaking is very competitive. So for a young actress to get an offer to be in this movie, she has to fucking do it. So what can I say? The Paul character's a real fucking scumbag, by the way. The dead sister's fucking widower husband who sleeps with Angel. What a piece of shit he is. Some type of friend. And I guess, look, I don't know if this movie has a religious agenda. I guess it does, because it's all about forgiveness. Forgiveness. Oh, here's the other goddamn thing. So, yes, this guy, Michael, saves this poor lady from the whorehouse. Now, here's the thing, redeeming love. You see, because it's all about, she has to be redeemed. She has to be cleaned. She has to be cleansed from her whoredom. He rescues her from her whoredom. She's all beat up. He's got to tend to her. He's got to clean her up. He's got to heal her. It's all about her redemption comes by him. He redeems her. At many points of this movie, not all, but many, it's not her free will or her dedication or her power or whatever, her cunning that rescues her from this life. It's Michael. It's Michael paying for her. It's Michael fighting for her. It's Michael forgiving her, forgiving her, forgiving her. Michael cleaning her. And it's just like, okay, what has this chick done to deserve any of this? And the answer is she's pretty and God told him so. Well, I'm sorry, folks. I'm not disputing God. I'm just saying that it does not holding up to the Messier test. Because if you've given me that premise that the only reason this guy is into this chick so much is because God told him so, and she's fucking hot, she's gorgeous, whether it's 1880 or 2022, I'm sorry, I just can't buy into it. I just, there needs to be something more, and just that kind of exterior level of intellect that she's pretty and he's gonna be the fucking Prince Charming. I'm demanding a little bit more than that from films. I'm sorry. Yes, the cinematography is great. Yes, the fucking acting's great. Well shot, well made film, good audio. But here I am, folks. I'm just telling you that at some point the script or the source material or just the basic premise of this 1880s simp story, it's not satisfying to me. Okay. So you might be crying in your pants thinking, oh, gee whiz, what a misogynistic rant. Not really. I'm just saying that no guy worth his dick is going to tolerate this shit, or should. And it is what it fucking is. It's a goddamn movie. I saw it. I liked it. But at the same time, I felt a little empty. It's like, is this what men have to endure? They have to go to a whorehouse and rescue the prettiest whore in town. Of course, he's got to get the prettiest whore. He can't get the second prettiest whore. You know what I mean? He's got to get the most top market whore to choose as God's choice for his wife. Yeah, okay. So it's just ridiculous. At one point, he turns down the advances of an African American prostitute. Well, a little racism there, Michael. You know what I mean? So what the fuck? I'm just telling you how I feel. You might argue. You might say, "Oh, gee whiz, you're missing the point." Pretty Woman, Jenny from Forrest Gump. I'm just telling you how it fucking is. If you don't want to deal with my version of reality, that's fine. I'm just telling you, most men in their heart of hearts do not want a fucking whore for a wife. I'm sorry, Hollywood. Pretty Woman or not. So subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. All you get from me is truth and honesty. More than Jenny from Forrest Gump, and more from fucking Angel from Redeeming Love.